Okay.
Okay, we're going to talk about basketball first this morning, and Keith Sides joined us. We missed Keith last week. He went to the CT tournament in Beloit. How'd that go last week?
I think they won the second game, lost the first one. Got that. Actually, I took my daughter to a basketball game in Holders and coached her. So my two assistants went to the C team tournament. So my wife went down to the C team tournament, coached the girls. So not enough parents, I guess, in the family to take care of our kids and our jobs. So we had a good week last week. We had Hoxie on Tuesday, then we played TMP last night. Two good teams we knew coming in. Hoxie had only lost either one or two games prior to playing us, and then TMP, they're always tough, especially down there. I think we've only beat TMP twice in the last 25 years that I remember down there. So it's they're always talented and hard to beat down there with their gym and how they the crowd and stuff. So. On Tuesday, we beat Hoxie 67-49, a game that we got on them early. We were ahead 23-14 at first quarter. We had 5 threes the first quarter and kind of got out on them, and then kept it going. It had 41-21 at half, so we had a 20-point lead at half. And it's just one of those games we got on them early, and it just kind of took the wind out of them and took the fight out of them, and we ended up cruising for a win then. And then last night, down at TMP, we got out to a solid start, hit 20-12 first quarter. TMP battled back. We get up 10, 12 points, and you get cut it to, I know they cut it to 1 at one time. I can't remember if it was the third quarter or second quarter, but we had a 7-point lead going in half, and then a 10-point lead after 3, and then ended up winning by 11. So Trey and Austin Miller and Nathan had big first quarters for us. Got us 20 points. Those were the 3 guys that scored. And then after that, we just kind of filled in spots. And like John here, he had 6 points for us. And he's given up 6-7 inches to their post players. And did a great job defensively and held them in check. Just their size. They got a 6'7" kid inside and a couple of 6'4" kids that are long. And we're not very tall, so we're going to have to use our toughness and quickness to defend.
Question about it, the Tuesday game with Roxy. They had a couple of players started that need problems.
Yeah, I know one of them started last year, 6'7" kid, but they had a 6'8", 9" kid, however tall he is, 320-pound kid that is a sophomore. I think they said he lost 20, 25 pounds too, so he's a big kid. My youngest Ty, he played against him when he was younger, and it just looked like when Ty was like a 6th grader, it looked like he was a senior in high school. The size of him, he was huge. And really good talent. He's going to be hard to defend. Give him a couple more years of playing and getting in shape, because that's a big body at that young age. So, yeah, then that 6'7" kid was hurt, and they had a 6'5" kid, I think it was also hurt. So, yeah, they were a tall team if they had everybody. Just talking to the coach before the game, it's one of those things pretty disappointing. You go into the season, you think, man, got the size, got multiple guys, and then now you're down to one tall one. So they're still a solid team. We just got on them early, and it was good for them. They said they haven't played the competition here lately, and they needed a test, and we gave it to them.
Well, I guess those are, this time of the year, too many games are the kind of write-up. So I guess, how would you describe your team? Somebody that maybe sees the write-ups in the paper. It's one thing to see them in person, but maybe looking at the box score. Obviously, it's something that your size may be different, but the speed and just the intensity right off the bat, is that really what they're trying to do first? Is really plant that first quarter is really the key quarter.
That's where we gotta come out strong. We're a team like last night. First 3 or 4 minutes of the game, it was up and down the court. I mean, it was as fast as they go. TMP was playing fast, and the whistles wasn't very many whistles. I think we shot 5 free throws, I think, total. And just talking to the referees after the game, that they said it was such an easy game. They were tired of running them down the court, but it was an easy game to call because the kids were under control. And I think we only had 12 turnovers. They may have a few more, but we're a team that's going to have to use our quickness, and we're going to even then it gets to the fourth quarter, we've got to have enough subs to we can still keep good hard pressure, man pressure on them, because we're not tall enough to play a zone. Usually we play a little bit once in a while just to mix it up. But, we're definitely a team that's got to, like Nathan Moon's going to be in here talking, and Ty, my youngest one, they're 5'7" and shorter, and they got to be using their quickness and that way. So we got to be that way. To be the best we can be.
Talk about playing, there at the TMP Fieldhouse. I mean, it's legendary for years. I mean, but it's a completely different atmosphere. So getting a victory last night, what does that mean moving forward? Because it has to be a big, even a mental boost to kind of get over one of those hurdles.
Yeah, I know. And our kids, I didn't tell them before that we had won just one time, so they didn't know that. These kids, they know how to win. And that's a big thing. They don't get rattled. They go out there and compete and expect to win. And a lot of times you go down there and they're at the other end of the court. They can't hear me. It's just one of those gyms you can't. And maybe I don't know if you guys hear me last night, but I didn't have to say a lot. They did a good job running up and down the court and running their offense. TMP come out in a 3-2 zone. And in practice on Thursday, we worked on 3-2 zone because I just had a feeling they may come out and something like that because teams have tried man and tried different things against us with their size and maybe just kind of get out there on us a little more under perimeter. But we were able to make shots early and get them down the court like we like to play.
I'm going to ask you this. Sometimes you act like you don't hear you.
I know it's just something about that gym. I mean,
well,
it just seems like you can talk to them, but
Right.
the words don't get there.
So what's left on the schedule then?
We got host Monday here at Stockton, a team that's records not that good, but they took Northern Valley to overtime. Northern Valley is a solid team. They got good athletes. They got a Booker kid that can shoot the ball, really get from the outside from anywhere. And their other kids are 6'1" kids that can do a lot of things. So we don't match up real well with them. It's one of those games. If we let them hang around, they're going to gain confidence and take on the challenge of going against us because it's tough to play down there. Even that gym's always kind of a little different too. I don't know what, just the surroundings and stuff. So I expect Stockton to come up and take on the challenge.
Okay, and then Tuesday?
Then Tuesday we go on the road to Concordia. Concordia is a team that's been 4A and they're down to 3A this year. So they play big schools, 4 and 5A schools, and the record's not very good. I think I might have been the 4th win last night, beating a Chapman team that's I think had 1 loss or 2 losses. So I know they have from last year they have a 6'5" guard that's really athletic. Then he's a senior. Then they had a freshman last year that a friend of mine from college's son that's 6'1", 190, 180 pounds, just a solid, thick, athletic kid that's does a lot of things well. So we know that about him, and like they beat Chapman. And I was talking to my friend earlier in the year, and they weren't playing very good. And I told her, just wait till we play. You guys be hitting their stride, and I think maybe they're doing that right now.
And then final regular season game.
And then we on Saturday we finished this regular season down at Hoisington, game that got postponed. Hoisington's in our sub-state, and they're just kind of hanging right at 3-4 seeds so far. So it could be make a difference in our seeding. So I know they have 2 good sophomores that play with Ty on the travel team during the summer, and then they were young last year, so they're a team that just got better throughout the year too.
Okay, so then your regular season's over. That Hoisington game is a postponement. You probably are glad to get that because the next you'll have how much time?
Yeah, we'll have all the next week off and the following Tuesday, so you're talking 9 days almost, I think, there that you don't play. So it'll be it's one of those things. After Saturday's game, we won't have the full team. We'll have kind of our tournament team and maybe a few others. So we'll have a smaller group of kids, and we're going to have to fine tune some things. We're going to have to condition. It's one of those things. We're going to have to simulate some games throughout that week, and also probably take a day off or 2 at different times because we're going to practice on a Sunday night. We're taking a trade down to Jacksonville on leaving Thursday night, so we're going to be gone Friday and Saturday and come back Sunday night. So it's going to be one of those schedules. We'll practice maybe 2-3 days and have a day off, and then practice a couple days and then play. So we're going to have to keep our conditioning, keep our because even we'll be the 1 seed and we'll play the 8 seed. And a lot of times you get an 8 seed that just not going to maybe you play them 50 times, they may beat you once. So not this year. Southeast Saline and Lions, and they're down bottom right now with their teams that are very capable.
So I know you like to have that game in there, but I mentioned, Hoyt and Having, you would have had 2 whole weeks or
Yeah. Another good thing about it too, we're down to Washington, and that's where our sub-state attic gives these guys opportunity to play at that gym before we actually start sub-state. So I really like that part of it. Maybe the bad thing about it, we may have to play them the second round at Poisonton right away. So like just have one game between us. That's the only downfall. But if that happens, it'll be that way.
That reminds me of years ago, where we had to do that, where in the small schools, we played each other 2 or 3 times, and we had to turn right back around and left the draw. If you had a big enough gym, you got to host those games. And I know sometimes the kids maybe don't like that when we see other people, but again,
This was only the second time I played Poisonton. That's in my senior year. We played Logan 4 times.
Yeah,
That's a little different between 2 times and 4 times.
I remember that, the Cheyenne Conference, you're playing round robin, back, and then you see it Sunday, maybe the tournament, in the Cheyenne tournament, and then you come back somewhere down the road there. Were you an Eastern Heights fan?
I was. That was a long time ago. Their stories, and as I always say, the older you get, the better the stories get. So, but
Okay. I know who you brought. You want to tell us about John?
Yeah, John Honeycutt, one of those kids that's just improved every day this year and does a lot of good things for us. He may not score a lot of points, may not get a lot of rebounds and a lot of stats, I guess, but there's a lot of stuff you, as coaches, you don't that you see on film that people don't see. And he's vital to our team. Does a great job setting screens and getting in the right place and made some good passes last night inside. So he's improved dramatically since the beginning of the year.
John, what do you see as your job, your main? You had 6 points last night, and is that what you usually have? You have 6, 8 points, something for the ball game? Yeah. What are these? Putbacks or?
Usually they're passes like open.
Okay. You shoot the 3?
Have you shot one yet this year? No, not yet. That's nothing.
Okay.
there may be a time where you're called upon. John, we all know the success you've had on the football field. How does that translate into the other sports, and like during basketball? I mean, you make that transition, especially coming off everything this year and even a couple years ago. How does that? What do you take things from one sport to the other?
I just try to keep working at the sport on field. Keep trying to get better.
Coming out of football season, successful football season, does that kind of roll over? Do you feel that? Does it roll over? I know you don't get to practice as much because they're still playing football, but did you feel
I think their mentality of winning. I mean, that's if you're used to winning, it seems like you find a way to win. And if you kind of your 500 team or kind of get some losses and stuff, and it's hard to win those games. But winning is contagious.
Okay, you talk about basketball coming into the season. We may have talked about this before. What do you anticipate? What you'd be doing? Do you feel you'd be about where you are right now?
Yeah, I figured doing all right.
Kind of new going into the season. We started maybe all but 2 or 3 games for us. We had Austin Miller and Parker and John, all guys that I thought would battle for the starting spots, and they've kind of rotated a little bit. And now John's just kind of gone with the same group with Austin and John and brought Parker off the bench, and it's starting to. I think it's way we'll finish as long as everybody stays healthy. Parker had a couple. He had a baseline shot and a 3-pointer last night for us, which he's very capable of doing that. And he brings that part of the game for us because Austin, he's more of a low block guy, not really an outside shooter. So if we have Parker and John in there, we kind of spread the defense out a little bit more and work our dribble drive offense. And so we'll need those 3 guys to play well during the stretch down the road here.
The walls ball you last night, the wall around there.
There's probably more of the fans on the wall.
Noisy.
Yeah.
in basketball, that's talking about football, you have a Fort Hays State. Now, Mike, you signed with Fort Hays this week,
Yeah,
right?
I signed with
And
it.
you're gonna go down there and kick. Did they give you that sweater or did you have to buy it?
No, I-
Because if they gave you that sweater, you might be a pro now. Did they give it to you?
I went and bought it.
You had to buy it, okay. Well, let's talk about the decision to go to Hayes. How'd that all come?
It was a long decision. I mean, there's some teams that were talking to me, but I went down to Hayes and just sit there and felt like another home. So I decided to go there.
Did very many schools talk to you about
I had a decent amount of this. Some community colleges were coming in. I had Washington College to me. Warrior for a little.
So I'm glad that you, as an alumni, I'm glad you're going to Fort Hays.
So and I guess as the season progresses, by the way, I don't know if Coach, we're gonna try to get you guys down on the Capitol.
Yeah.
If he's told you that. So a couple years ago, we went to the school and thought, well, this is special. I think your class has been a very special class. And so we want to make sure that both House and Senate recognizes and your accomplishments. Talk about the run up to getting the record. Was there did you put any pressure on yourself, or was that maybe other outside influences? You just went. It seemed like from what I was able to observe from clips and other things, you were just very matter of fact and very cool, calm, and collected. It was just like something you just did.
I mean, I never really thought about breaking any records until I heard I was like 50 points away my senior year. So, if I make everything, I mean, I knew we were going to get points.
Well, you're going down to a good football program. Coach Brown seems to really have done great things and got a lot of community support. So you're going into living one successful program. The school and the turnaround that's happened over the last several years is great for the community. So you get down to Fort Hays. What are you going to be studying? Because there's only so much time you can get.
Yeah, I'll be studying computer science.
Good. So we want to do that.
I'll probably I'm going to try to be an assistant engineer for a company.
Let's talk a little bit about, you're going to go down there, red shirt, right?
I think
That's what the Hayes Daily said, because he still has that good kicker now.
Yeah.
He's got 1 year. Do you look forward to maybe having him around, maybe getting some tips from him?
Yeah, it would be kind of nice having a good kicker to watch and learn from him.
Of course, if something could happen to him, you would have, I'm sure they would bring you out, because everything's the same. Football's the same, the yards are the same, the goalposts are the same.
They're a little smaller.
Are they a little smaller?
Yeah.
That much?
I wouldn't say a lot, but I mean,
So, of course, everything else being equal there. Would you like me kicking this year, or do you mind the red shirt?
I wouldn't mind the red shirt. They said I compete for this school, so we'll see what happens.
Okay.
I think I still travel from so I mean, I get to have experience.
So what is that? What happens basically now? You signed this week, so I guess how obviously play out basketball season, the rest graduate. What about summertime? I know sometimes we know with some of the Division I schools. I mean, the student athlete leaves as quick as possible. So what's kind of the plan there?
I think I'll just go down and work out, like in practice down there, and then come back home and just go play D1 baseball. I think this summer.
They'll let you do that.
I think so. I haven't really talked to them.
Sure.
But I think, yeah, I'll just go down there and work out.
So with all the success you've had, and as your basketball coach here, no pressure, but what is your favorite sport? What's that? Oh.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty easy, That's where you go. That's where you go. It's funny. You talk about these athletes going on and playing with Fort Hays. He's got a lot of. He signed a lot of Western Kansas boys. Got a lot of boys, and I think it's really great that for a long time Fort Hays would go to Florida and Texas, and I'm glad that we have a lot of good football players here that don't realize that. So you're in good company. I think a lot of you're old on these guys. I think playing this on the playing little boy. Was it on the sign? Is that kind of neat? Where you get you there and take a picture, and the coaches are there, and the parents and all that. Who else signed? Who else signed? Yeah, they're gonna be talking trailer. That's right. Okay. I know which one. Yeah. I'm glad you're going for it. Anything you got? Okay. Good luck. We'll see you. Good luck the rest of the season basketball too.
Thank you.
Okay.
I guess the next player come in is Nathan Moon. Kid has played a lot of basketball for us. He played a lot as a freshman, and one of those kids that just, as a coach, you know we're going to get out of him every game. He's going to defend well. He's going to play good defense, and he's going to do everything, run the offense the way it's supposed to be run. So he's kind of like him and Trey have been playing a lot together, so they're on the same page all the time. Last night he came out and he had 7 points in that first quarter. He made a 3 and got another basket on a fast break layup. So he's got to score 7, 8 points a game. He had a big game against Boyd, had 24 that one day. So he's very capable of doing that.
Funny, I've seen him ever since he was. You've always seen him be like an overachiever. You have that feeling too. That I mean, he always 110%.
Yeah, that's what he's worked hard ever since he was little, and he's not one of those guys that comes to practice and takes a day off. It's and like he's wrestling too, so he's practicing a little bit in the morning with that. And he lifts a lot of weights, and he's just a true athlete.
Well, again, maybe it's kind of the same question as before. You know the way you play football, which is great intensity. Talk about maybe your game in basketball. Is it kind of that same intensity, sort of that level of intensity, and kind of are you a go-getter? Are you taking chances, maybe on the defensive side?
Yeah, there's a lot of times I'll try to get a steal or maybe swat a little bit on someone driving in and hope not for a foul or force a loose ball or something.
There's a lot of plays last night where either the big guys would bring it down or the ball would be on the ground. And he's so close to the ground, he'd get it before they would. So a lot of those 50-50 balls that you hope to get 50 of them, I think he gets like 90%.
And that's hustle. That's the name of the game. Hustle. And I've got to ask you, this is amazing to me. You can wrestle and play basketball. How's the wrestling?
I'm a little slower than I was hoping, but it's going all right still.
What weight do you wrestle?
145.
Have you made them or make it all the weights
That have been available to me. There's one that we missed, the Marysville tournament. It was really icy that week, so we just decided not to go.
And then you have to say, and I'll be your coach today, if they think number one preference, number two, I mean, if there's a conflict, they have to say before the season starts, I'll do this, and they have to do this.
Number one's basketball, and then wrestling. This Friday and Saturday's regional wrestling, and he's going to go wrestle. Who's that boy? That boy. He's going to go wrestle there Friday and Saturday, and if he keeps winning and stuff, I mean, his goal is to make the state wrestling too, hopefully basketball. But if he doesn't make it far enough, he may be able to come join us in Hoisington and play the game. But we may be without him in the Hoisington game, which is like I told him. I mean, that's fine. We have other guys that can play. It's one of those games we don't need to win. It'd be nice to win, but we're cheering for Nathan.
What to talk about, it's like Nathan, who's a lot of your athletes are multi-sport. They do a little bit of everything, but there's been a push, especially we're hearing a lot on the other side of the state, the bigger schools, encouraging kids and their parents not to focus on one sport. Maybe both of you could address that of kind of your philosophies of why, and maybe not just athletics, but everything. Phillipsburg still the size of a school where students can do not only athletics but do some art things and some other things and make them more well-rounded student. I think, and does that as a coach, what you see, does that make them a more aware athlete, if you will?
It's more things that are involved with the more successful they're going to be. It just seems like all these kids, I mean, let's take for example our basketball team. I mean, they're all good students and get a lot of awards and just their work ethic and their accountability, all that stuff you need to be a good employee and doesn't carry over.
It's amazing too. You get up in the morning, Nathan, you say, "See, I wrestle, basketball a lot." Yeah.
Sometimes I run through my schedule and make sure, see what I have.
It's amazing. Are you the first one who's ever played basketball and wrestled at school? I don't remember any other athlete ever doing. They do golf sometimes and track, but I've never. This is the first time I think the Phillipsburg's had a double athlete in.
Yeah, it's hard to do, and he could do a little bit of basketball like he's doing. He could do it that way, but it'd be impossible to do wrestling and then come to basketball practice once a week and try to play basketball. Unless I guess you're really talented and do all the plays and stuff like that. So wrestling, like you can go wrestling, it's just all on him. It's just one-on-one. For basketball, you have to be able to fit in with the team and do a lot of different things. So this is definitely the only way you could probably work is basketball player going to wrestling.
Well, having a disc, you look like some tough competition. What they regional, 3A regional.
Yeah, I think there'll be some good teams down there. We'll just have to make sure we play our game to stay ahead.
Oh, yeah.
When you graduate. I may have asked you this
Yeah,
before,
I think I'm gonna head to Cloud out at Concordia. Work on wind.
That's amazing. I think that someone says, "How do you work on them?" Well, will you be installing them, or will you be there working permanently doing maintenance and stuff? Or what?
See, that I haven't decided
Okay,
yet.
all right. Okay.
All right.
You like? I take it you aren't afraid of heights.
No.
Okay, because I don't know.
Quite something.
It's amazing. I've been trying to get someone from the wind generation people, because I think that's the future, the wind and solar. And the way that a lot of things are being done and rules and regulations, and so I think a lot of that. Okay, well, good.
Thank you.
Have good luck in the wrestling and also basketball.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so you'll be missing next week, because you'll be on the way to Hoyson, huh?
Yeah, Hoiston JV starts at 1 o'clock, so we'll be getting that. We're going down to there. We had a good week this week, 2 good wins, and we got 3 tough games next week, so it'll be a fun week.
And all 3 of those games figure in on the pairing, so, but you're pretty much.
We're the 1 seed, no matter what.
Thanks.
Yep, thanks, guys.
I do find it interesting that, with all this technology, Tad, we're still using the scorebooks we've used for the last couple of years. Still, he still has to be written down, so that's good.
Scorekeepers at the tables have to use one of these, I guess. Like our stats, we use our iPads for stats and computer, but still have to have
That's
it in the
it.
game.
Good luck.
Thanks a lot, Steve. Appreciate you coming in. Okay, we're gonna talk about girls basketball coming up after this time.